So, my name is Andreas Voss. I've been working as a business coach in the German startup scene for over 17 years. I've founded 8 companies and I've been teaching entrepreneurship in my workshops and programs for students as well as founders and established companies around the world for more than 7 years. I'm very happy to welcome you to this webinar to give you an overview about the Business Plan Stage 1 from the Business Plan competition and how you can participate in this competition, which is, by the way, the biggest business plan competition in Germany. So, the business plan is a proven step-by-step method you apply to create a business plan according to the 3 stages of submission. With the professional help of the BPW Euros, you then receive personal feedback on your business plan and develop it further at each stage. Each submitted version of your business plan will then be reviewed by 2 jurors. In our webinar today, we outline the different sections of the business plan. We also touch upon key aspects of sustainability. In addition, we provide you with a submission checklist, our conditions for participation, and plenty of useful tips. Before watching this webinar, we encourage you to watch the very first webinar called 2 Path, 1 Goal. In this webinar, we gave an introduction of the business model canvas and the BPW plan and showed you how you can participate in the competition with each of them. And please use our resources online, like the handbook or the calendar, in which you can find more helpful events, seminars, and workshops. And for your interest, you can download the handbook for free on our homepage. Let's jump directly in the topics. The competition has 3 stages or cycles, as you can see on this slide. In every one of the 3 stages of the competition, we honor the best business plans and canvases with a total of over 50,000 euros in prize money. You can enter with a business plan or business model canvas, as you can see on this slide here, right? And we also have a special award for sustainability at the 3rd stage of the competition with a prize money of 5,000 euros. You can participate at any time during any stage or cycle, and it's up to you if you'd like to create a canvas or business plan. As I mentioned earlier, this webinar, we focus on the 1st stage of the business plan, right? So if you decide to submit a business plan, then you have to complete and submit the required chapters of the stage you want to participate in. This means in stage 1, you have to deliver the topics summary, product, service, and founders. Overall, that's 6 to 13 pages. And please don't deliver more than the required chapters or topics. At the end of each competition phase, 2 euros will evaluate your concept. You receive feedback based on defined criteria, and we go over this criteria in a minute. And you have the chance to win prize money at the end of these phases. But the real value of the competition is not winning prize money, but rather to get in touch with the important players in the startup scene, like bankers, advisors, and like-minded people, right? So, okay, the first stage. In the first stage, you can win 3,000 euros prize money for the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place. Yes, for the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. So that really makes sense to participate in the business plan competition stage 1, right? So please make sure to check our website for the official submission date. Before we dive into the chapters and requirements of the 1st stage of the business plan, let's briefly go over the evaluation scale. As you can see here, we have a German grading system from 1+, outstanding, to 6, which means not so good. In every stage of the competition, based on this scale, you will receive feedback from 2 different Euros. And the Euros are different, and they have different view on your concept and different opinions. Because of that, their rating and the feedback can differ. we have an eye on that and we double check the ratings in the case the ratings differ too much. So if this is the case, we have experienced judges or a neutral third party who has to give an additional rating. We try hard to be as fair and as impartial as possible, but if you think at one point your rating and feedback from the Euros wasn't fair, please don't hesitate to contact us. If in this case, we will triple check the feedbacks and ratings again. Our system usually works very well and the participants accept the given feedback. And you will get the chance to speak to your jurors in person via phone, email to discuss their statements on your concept in more detail. From my perspective, this is a great advantage of the business plan competition. You can get one-on-one feedback from the jurors, and at the end of the competition, when you have participated in all stages, you may have talked to 6 jurors in person, right? So let's start with the topic sustainability right now here in the first round. So as you know from watching the 2 Path 1 Goal webinar, sustainability can influence the areas of finance, the environment, society, and therefore plays an increasingly important role in startup success, right? Climate change, energy transition, or global poverty demand entrepreneurial response and can open up opportunities for startups, okay? So in the first stage of the competition, you can develop your unique philosophy of a sustainable company and come up with a holistic approach, right? When you begin writing your business plan, you can, for instance, integrate topics like product quality and sustainable resource consumption, which can lead to a significant change in your industry. So you can give your employees the chance to get a share of your company and let them participate in the market success financially. In order to effectively integrate aspects of sustainability into your business plan, you should familiarize yourself with opportunities of sustainable action and management. Describe how you integrate financial, environmental, and social aspects of sustainability into your business model. And don't forget to attend our seminars and workshops on these topics. This will help you to shape your concept in order to integrate sustainability in every chapter of your business plan. Okay? So, from the very beginning of writing your business plan, you should also develop an action plan based on the areas of activity affecting your business. This action plan should show how you can benefit from the opportunities arising from sustainable management. Furthermore, you should present the impact of sustainability on your market strategy. In the first stage of the competition, we are focusing on the possibilities you create for your product, services, founders, team members, and important employees. Okay. As you can see on this slide, we want to highlight once again the special prize, the special sustainability prize of the competition. So let's take a closer look now here on the business plan. As you can see here, you have to deliver more and more chapters from stage to stage, and it becomes more comprehensive along the way. Your business plan is not only your vision put down on paper, but the visual figurehead of your business. It should have its own internal logic and a clear storyline. It should be structured clearly and present key information in detail. You therefore also have to create a proper 3-year financial plan in terms of strategy and numbers, and it should offer a convincing degree of objectivity. That's quite a lot and definitely a challenge, yeah. Because of that, it makes sense to develop your business plan step by step and understand how the chapters of the plan interact and determine each other. To give you the big picture of this tool and some background information about its history, its function in the business world, here are some quick facts about the business plan in a nutshell, more or less. The function. Creating a business plan is not only important when starting a business, but also when expanding, restructuring, or taking over an existing company. The business plan is one of the most popular planning tools when starting business. It was initially used in the US as a tool for use in acquisitions by private investors or venture capitalists. So it spotlights the overall business plan for a business project. Over a time scale of usually 3 years, it illustrates a strategy for implementing business objectives with a major of conditions, plan, and measure to be taken. With your business plan, you are documenting the fact that you are ready to systematically and analytically address all the key aspects of starting a business. So what you can see here, we have two main target groups when you write a business plan. So, or audiences. This is an external and an internal group. Let's take a look at the external audience first. The goal of your business plan is to win over to win a specific audience, right? So most likely these will be potential business partners, financial institutions, or investors. So investors do not only examine the business idea and the founder skills, they also are very interested in market potential, right? So they want to understand how your business will increase value. So second, we are going to take a look at the internal audience. Internally, the business plan is used to establish a direction and to focus on long-term business objectivities. Even if you're trying to convince an external audience of your business project, you should remember that you're also writing the business plan for yourself. The business plan should provide you with more clarity too. It's also used as a planning and monitoring tool, and you can use it as a basis for discussion in your team, right? So here are some key aspects that makes up a good business plan from my perspective. Your business plan should be enable full assessment of other opportunities and also the risks associated with your business activities. So developing a business idea may lead to changes that appear along the way. It's the same with your business plan. You will probably write various drafts of it, may change along the way too. So new knowledge may result in you having to revise individual aspects to your business plan. It's more a process of constant updating, okay? All assumptions, projections and results you develop and revise must be made consistently in order to avoid content errors. Planning can be of great help here. During the process of writing a business plan, include some time for revision, definitely, please. It's important for the individual section of your business plan to have here own internal logic as well as being a coherent part of the whole. So when you are done with the first stage submission, don't think that you won't have to revise it again in stage 2 and 3. So, maybe a piece of advice from me here. Make a note of all cross references. So for example, when you talk about hiring engineers or staff, or an engineer, his or her salary should be also included in the chapter financials, right? That makes sense. So also focus on what's important rather than including too many details. All topics should be written concisely, but also include enough details. It's all about finding a balance, okay? Before the final submission, you should give your business plan to someone else to read and to give feedback. You can decide which language you want to use writing the business plan, German or English, okay? But please stick to the one lead language you have chosen and don't include a mix of them. The business plan is in some way like a job application. The jurors will highly appreciate if you carefully choose your wording That means no slang or jargon that only people in your field of expertise can understand. When you write a business plan, pretend that you would write it so that a 10-year-old child can understand it. So keep that in mind. That would be very nice for me. So on this slide, you can see the requirements of the business plan chapter by chapter. The red numbers show you how many pages are recommended for each chapter. And please try to stick to the given topics, requirements, and numbers of pages. You could and should add important documents to your business plan as attachment. For example, your CVs or blueprints, letters of intent, or market research results. But don't try to squeeze too much information into the given structure. If it doesn't fit with the topic or stage, please don't do it. Yeah. Okay. So let's finally start with the chapters of the first stage. The first competition phase looks more or less like this. The business plan competition usually starts at the DGUT fair in October, followed by the seminar and workshop program in Berlin-Brandenburg. My advice would be use it to deepen your knowledge about the business plan and create your own business model and workshops maybe. And during the first events, you can expand your network and discuss topics that are important to you with experts and fellow founders, for instance. In January, the first competition phase ends with the first submission deadline. So you have the possibility to submit your application online before midnight. So more or less. 2 jurors then evaluate the submission by giving grades and helpful tips. Finally, the BPW committee create a ranking of in some kind of top 10 in each category, business plan and business model canvas. These top teams are then invited to pitch in front of the BPW committee. The best 6 teams out of them, 3 for the business plan and 3 for the canvas, receive the opportunity to enter into the final pitch round at the first award ceremony in February. The jury at the award ceremony will not be the BPW committee, but the audience, which choose a winner in the category business plan and a winner in the category canvas. And as I have mentioned before, the winning teams then receive the prize money. So 3,000 euros for the first, the second, and the third in the plan. On the day after the award ceremony, you can check your BPW profile and see the jurors' feedback. Oh, sorry. And if you want, you can contact your jurors and discuss the given feedback in more detail via phone, email, or maybe in a personal meeting. So let's take a more detailed look at the chapters you have to deliver. Summary, product, service, and founders. Overall, this should not be more than 6 to 13 pages, please. And don't forget, you should only deliver the required chapters. At this stage, the summary should contain the most important facts about the following chapters, product and service and founders. And this is also very important, your approach on how you're planning to develop a sustainable company, right? So overall, this should not be more than 1 page, please. Also, please write this page at the very end. Since it's a summary, it summarizes everything you have talked about in the entire business plan. At this stage, it's only 2 chapters of the plan, product, service, and founders. So start writing these chapters first. This will help you to write the summary concise and on the point. Alrighty? Okay, so I know I said you shouldn't start writing the summary page first, but I will explain it to you before taking a look at the other 2 chapters. The summary is the key part of your business plan. It creates a first impression and should therefore spark the interest of the readers. Usually, This is your potential investor, a banker, a business partner, and here, of course, juror. The summary contains a brief outline of all key aspects of the business plan, just like an executive summary, right? So, and here are some questions you have to answer on the summary page. What sort of company is it? Okay, which legal form did you choose? Also, where do you want to position your company in the market, right? Give a concise overview over the structure of your company. What is the product or service? What is special about it? Yeah. You have to describe the unique selling proposition of your product or service, but only in a few sentences, because the more detailed explanation follows in the chapter product or service. So who are the managers? Mention the founders, the managers, and important people who are the drivers of the startup. Give us a first impression about their skills and your team already has. Also interesting in later stages, how much money do you need during what stages? What will it be used for? Your answer to this question should give a concise overview of where your project is at. Okay. You should also include the next important milestones like R&D, building a prototype, testing the market, and things like that. Okay. But just keep in mind for the first stage submission, you can skip the information about the financial and the legal stuff. Yeah. Okay. So let's continue with the chapter product or service. Overall, you should not write more than 3 to 7 pages here. Also make sure that you cover the following topics: product description, client benefit, target audience, and development status. This is very important. The core of each business plan or of each concept is a clear and comprehensive description of the product or service and a clear and detailed presentation of the customer benefit of your product or service. Yeah, so that makes sense, I would say. Sometimes it's hard to break things down into their key aspects, especially when you feel passionate about your product or service. People honestly often think test and develop their goods over weeks, months, or years. So, and then they feel very proud of the results. That's absolutely fine and important when you found a business. But if you want to convince a juror or a reader of a business plan or other readers, it's absolutely necessary to explain your product or service in a concise way that is easy to understand. Yeah. Um, and please, you can help your reader to picture your product or service by using illustrations or photos or graphics in addition to the description. Please answer. Please also answer the following questions. So, what is your value proposition? Which means that you should not describe what is your product. It's more go beyond that. Yeah. So Porsche, for example, is not selling only cars. They sell a status symbol, right? So, and ask yourself, what value do you offer to your customer? Think about like this: what does your customer truly desire? That's much more than features and colors and material, right? So, how you are going, how are you going to be better than your competitor at solving your customer's problem? That's another important question. And also think about technology aspects like copyright or protections, patents, for example. So, what is unique about your product or service? So, can you compete on the level of sustainability? That's another important question. And what about your time to market? Yeah. How long will it take you until your product or service is ready to enter the market? Mm, Yeah, let's go over the key questions you have to answer when writing about development status. Okay. In which stage of development is your product or service right now? Which development steps are you planning? Do you have a prototype? Which development costs do you have to take into account? Which areas do you see development risk and how you will solve these problems? So, what is the current state of the art? What is your competitor's developing status? Hmm? Uh, Please try to find information about your competitors. Finding competitors in general will become an important part of your business plan during stage 2. So why don't you start looking up right now? Okay. So the following questions have a stronger focus on innovation and sustainability. How you are protecting your innovation, for instance, or how do you maintain your innovation advantage over your competitors? So, mm, which specific opportunities and risks become important for you when consider aspects of sustainability? Now, let me say a few words about the development status. So, most of the projects we work with are usually in their development stage, right? So, it's not necessary to have a complete and well-tested prototype or product which is ready to enter the market. It's absolutely okay to have only a rough first prototype and an idea how you can get to the next stage of development. Please don't think that you have to more that you have to have more than you have right now. Okay, every stage of development is totally fine. But one thing is absolutely important. Please answer all of these questions to receive the maximum number of points, right? So, mm, yeah, now let's take a look at the founders. Please make sure that you cover the following topics here. Founders and skills, of course. Closing gaps is important. Key figures and founders income. So, and overall, please don't write more than 2 to 5 pages, I would say. Your team is absolutely key. When writing this section, it helps to assume that you, as an individual or a team, are applying for a job at your future company. Show how each of you have the skills needed in order to run your business and convince the reader accordingly, right? So the success of a business often lives and dies with personalities and skills of its founders. So as an entrepreneur, you have to implement and drive your project, right? So there may be one or several founders. In this section, you should demonstrate that you are capable of building successful business. You should therefore also mention your management qualities, right? So who should be responsible for what and why? So, and is he or she a good fit for the specific position? In this section, you should also introduce the founders. Name, age, describe their skills in more detail. So show which of the skills are important to success of the business and which skills are necessary to fulfill your tasks. So for instance, this could be sales and management and yeah, industry knowledge, something like that. Key questions on the founders. Ask yourself, does the business plan showcase the founders and their skills? So what distinguishes the individual founders? Education, practical experience, prior knowledge, success, professional qualifications, business experience, something like that. Which business specialist technical and personal skills and experience are relevant for the success of the business? And which roles will the founders occupy in the company based on their qualifications? Mm, and of course, here the sustainability thing is the issue of sustainability explicit allocate to a team member. Yeah, and And of course, in this section are the founders' CVs enclosed. So success as a team. So building a business requires all kinds of skills and talents that few people can offer on their own. So working within a team of founders is beneficial as tasks and responsibilities are shared between several people, right? So the successful interplay between various personalities often produce the best solution. So if you manage to achieve the perfect combination of people's skills and build a complementary team, you have a competitive advantage here. So as a team, you should be aware of your strengths and weaknesses and develop strategies to ensure collaborative action, right? So it's important that all members of your team share the same vision of your company. So for that, you can use different models. Maybe you want to look at the golden circle model, for instance. So please handle this with care and put effort into the development of your team and company vision. This is absolutely crucial from my perspective. So this is not only important for the BPW competition, but also for your success in the real competition out there. So this is different. When you talk about your team, you also have to talk team structure and clearly define rules, right? It's helpful to use an organization chart here to explain to the reader who will be responsible for what and who reports to whom, okay? So do you have complementary skills? Are all the key activities required covered by your team members? If this is not the case, please try to create job profiles for the most important areas of your business and present the skills and the experiences needed in detail. Compare this with the skills you and the other founders have already. If you find gaps, you should explain how and when you would like to fill these gaps. So this could be also with consultants or external coaches. So we also recommend you to attend further seminars and workshops to learn more about how to run a business and how to assign specific roles. Mm, When we talk about key figures, we mean important people who don't belong to your company who may provide you with support. So this could be, for example, experts or people with important client contacts or something like that. So in your business plan, you should write about these key people and outline in particular how they can be tied to the business and how dependent you are on them. Okay. You should also present a solution for the event that an important partner drops out halfway through. So, okay. And again, please talk about the important stuff in your team. Yeah, money, vision. Why do you as a team want to do this together and all this stuff? This section also should also contain details on the founders, planned income, and find a balance here. So on one hand, you should include an income for yourself, which helps you to sustain your life, rent, food, clothing. And on the other hand, you should not burden the finances of your business by paying yourself excessive salaries during the initial startup stage, right? So, from my perspective, it's also really important to create a contract which every single team member has to sign because you want to make sure that everyone is clear on what happens in the event that you guys get into a fight. Hopefully this won't happen, but if it does, you are prepared. So this task is absolutely necessary and really often overlooked. So If you found with family or friends as your team members, it's even more important if you want to continue to be a friend in the future. Mm, we have now almost reached the end of the webinar. You can find the detailed questions you have to answer in the handbook and online, of course. What's super important here, you can only collect points from the jurors if you answer all of the questions, right? So, I mean, every single of them. So if you do that, you will already be ahead of everyone competing with you because the most BPW participants don't answer all these questions and then they lose points, right? So sometimes it's very easy. So another advice would be get started right now, okay? Writing a good business plan takes time, sometimes months. So, and again, so please send us only the requested chapters. You won't collect any extra point if you send us more than the required chapters. And don't forget to send us your CVs and, for example, your letters of intent as attachments. So that would be nice. So, and now you're ready to submit your application. And keep in mind the submission deadline, which you can find on our homepage. But please check your business plan twice. And let me repeat myself. Give it to someone else to read before submitting it. Maybe you can get some helpful feedback from your friends to improve parts of what you have written. Yeah. So, and it doesn't matter if you submit a business model canvas or a business plan during the competition. My advice, use the potential of the business model canvas first to develop different business model options, then decide on one that fits best and use it as a basis to write an outstanding business plan. Yeah. So what I love about the business model canvas is that it allows you to think in various directions without limits. And it's all about trial and error. Yeah, you only have to buy a few post-its and you can start to think in different directions and make it fun. Okay. And after you have developed different canvases or business models or cases, you're ready to choose one of them and dive deeper into the business model. And then you write an outstanding business plan. Okay, so now that's it more or less. We have here some questions. If I describe my product in detail, how can I be sure that nobody will copy it? Usually, from my perspective, products and services, we have all kinds of products of services, and no one in the competition will say something about your ideas to other people, and the markets are definitely big enough to have a competitor. So, and when you do your things right and you do your job right, then definitely you will have a competitor in the future. So from my perspective, I would take more care on marketing on my clients or my potential customers. You can look at the patents and the protection thing, and yeah, it's a little bit more go out and do it, and don't think too much about other companies. There are other companies, but it's definitely fine. Okay. So we have another question. How much details are needed in describing my product? My product is very technical. It won't fit on so few pages. Okay. From From my perspective again, I would say when you cannot bring when you're not able to describe your product in a concise way on only a few pages, then you have to go back and think twice and think it again. I've seen business plans in the past where the team was able to describe something like a rocket launch or a time travel on 20 pages. So I'm definitely sure when you think twice about all these things and do it over and over again, you can bring it on a point. Okay. So more questions? No? So then I hope you enjoyed our overview over the requirements of the first stage of the business plan. We have 2 more webinars coming up about the business plan that provide more details on stage 2 and 3. Then I wish you good luck, and please feel free when you have any questions to contact our business plan competition team. And yeah, thank you for listening and good luck.